Bong bong.
Back in my day, that's what the intro looked like.
I think that was like the concept for the intro that I pitched to our guy Nathan Jones, runs the shit. Epic producer of the show, the Bodycast. Shouts out to Nathan Jones, legendary UK battle rap enthusiast. Welcome everybody to the Bodycast. My name is Copacetic, and with me,
Pathogenic.
Bong bong. Yeah, we are, of course, the best podcast for the international culture of battle rap. Find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and all of your favorite podcast platforms in the links below. It's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. And I think we've just like hit our stride. I think we're just, it feels like, we got into a groove now, and every show seems to be better than the last. It's informative. We're learning together. We're shining the light on artists who work hard and deserve to have some spotlight, some attention shown.
And I'm just going to sum everything up and say we've got the best fans in the world, too.
That, too. And that's really helpful.
If you really want to clue in to what we're doing here, that's off the syllables, but whatever.
Freestyle.
Yeah. Community cheers.
Community cheers, everybody. Yeah, community cheers. Trying to make the intro shorter, but I sort of like fell off my train of thought for a bit there a second. So I'm gonna pull it together. Here's how it goes. Remember to follow us, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and click the subscribe button, or whatever. I don't give a shit. Anyways, crazy week of battles. We had so much happen around the world, and I think that it's only right that we start with the big announcement, Pathogenic, with the Beast Mode King of the Dot collaboration versus Apex. I don't know if that is the biggest battle, but what on the card, but it could be.
Yeah, I actually have no idea what the scope of the card is. If it's going to be the thing that's interesting about it is the collaboration with King of the Dot, right? So what does that?
It's not the first time that Beast Mode has done a collaboration with KOTD, right? Like sort of work close together, being in Toronto, and I think during the Twitch era, they did a collaboration event, right?
I don't remember.
Where they did a Beast Mode event and they had it on the KOTD Twitch.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Yeah. Collaboration is loose terms. We're playing around with the words here. That's what we do on this show. Yeah.
No, it's a big announcement. Beast Mode champ, my good friend Alex, and
he's dope. He's a champion in Canada. He's a Canadian champ and earned it. And I like his talent grouping. He's got a good set of battle rap skills that will, I think, it's going to make for a really, really good match.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. It was first time on King of the Dot, technically. It's still Beast Mode, but it'll be first time on King of the Dot, so that's dope.
Oh,
at least it's been released.
Cool. The promo starts now. Let's go. Man, what a fucking cool year you're having. Why don't you speak to that a little bit, if you can? England, King of the Dot. Fans are saying.
Yeah.
Fans are weighing in.
Oh,
this guy.
That's crazy. Who's that?
I think his name is Pathogenic. It sounds Greek.
Oh, yeah. Pathogenic theorem. I learned about it in class.
He's a rapper. So that and the London shit. You got more tricks up your sleeve. What are we saying for you? You've got quite a year already. Is there?
Yeah. It's so starting with obviously Stay Forever and battling XQZ on that card, and then Ellipsis on Set the Bar, and then it'll be Apex in August, and then ARC in November. I don't know if I have anything else at any point in time. I guess we'll.
That's a good year, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of like nifty. What am I thinking for? It's tidy. That's a tidy piece of business.
I don't know what that means.
That's my new catchphrase.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a tidy piece of business.
That's a tidy piece of business.
Right there.
No, it's a great. It's a good year. Yeah, I don't think I'd have to add anything to it. I think that I could if something came up in a appropriate time frame that I had, then I'd be able to prepare for it. I think that I could squeeze something else into, but I think after ARC in November, I might take a break until 2024.
Yeah, that's a solid year, man.
And by a break, I mean, I guess it's in middle of November, so it's like a month and a half, but still a break.
You never know what could happen. But yeah, good for Canada. It feels like a lot more cohesion. You know, CRB's dropping these big announcements. KOTD's partnering up with Beast Mode. Set the Bar's got Arcane versus G Show next weekend. Oh, this weekend. Next weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, we were kind of we were talking about it. I can't remember when, but how when it pops up, the Canadian scene is crazy. But then there's always that little lull in between these big bursts of everyone's doing stuff, and we're in a burst right now. So
yeah, and the burst will create a momentum where those gaps will eventually disappear entirely because there will be stuff happening everywhere all at once. Kind of like America. America's got a battle event every weekend. If you wanted to, you could watch Battlerap live every weekend in America.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy when you think about it. So, you know, goals. But yeah, good for Canada. What else has Canada got going on? Canada. Oh, KOTD dropped Poe versus Joey Gambello.
Yes.
Which, I thought was really good for being. I think it was on short notice. I know that Joey had other opponents lined up and it didn't work, and those were incredible matches. That it's a shame they didn't work up, and hopefully down the line get rebooked. But Poe Rich came in short notice, and like I thought he did so well. I thought it was classic Poe. I thought he controlled the crowd really well. I think people were responding to him really well. I just remember being there and being really impressed by what he did. It felt like, you know, he has a style that is, it's difficult to execute like consistently like that. And without a lot of character, without a lot of like your own personal flavor, you know, it's like he's like a Canadian Zayn Azrai in a way. Nobody, but not in a with no negative connotation. It's such a unique style that nobody can do that, you know. But
there's only one Poe.
Facts. So, you know,
crazy that the battle was on such short notice, and the only one that stumbled was Poe Rich's mic.
Oh yeah, the mic issues. That's tough. Yeah,
it is what
sucks.
it is.
I mean,
but it's really good to like. That wasn't me saying it in a negative way, obviously, because Ruin Your Day is the best that there ever has been. But
for sure,
it's fun. It's a testament to Joey and Poe both getting off 3 rounds
Facts.
of material with no chokes or stumbles or fuck ups.
Yeah,
on something like 5 or 6 days.
What? I'm sorry, I can't do that shit. I'm sorry. I'm really dope. I'm fucking really great. I'm probably one of the best ever, maybe. But I can't do that shit. And Chrome and Trevi can do that as well. And shouts out to them for like people who can put stuff together last minute like that, you know. Maybe it's an East Coast thing. Maybe we just don't have it out here. Take our time.
Even if I did have it, I wouldn't do it. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think, you know, they're just naturals too. There's a lot of experience there, and they're just natural performers. So I don't know. Good guys, good battle. Go check it out. Subscribe.
Yeah, it was great.
Bing bang boom.
That means there's only one battle left from Stay Forever to drop.
Oh snap! Oh shit! So everybody tune in for the premiere next
Wednesday.
week.
Yeah, this Wednesday, I guess. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it again.
Oh, it's our guy Nate.
Hey, what is? You got me. You got me, Nate.
Hilarious. That's hilarious because actually he was gonna go for 9 minutes, and I had to cut him off quick and get terrible freestyle of the cheers.
I was dying.
Through it.
I was dying. It's good. It's good. So yes, before we leave the land of the true north, strong and free, CRB had a drop and a few announcements. I mean, we talked about Johnny Knox and MBS. No, MBS
Final
title shot.
Yeah,
Johnny Knox versus Final Word.
Yeah, Johnny Knox's last battle on CRB was MBS.
Cool. And now they just dropped Comp versus
Gravity.
And Lil Ma versus SBK, the first female battle in Canada in quite some time. A female battle in Canada. And, you know, with Coleslaw in Vancouver, 3 is potentially an all-time high for active female battlers in this country. So, you know, take our W's where we can get them. And that's definitely one. So shouts out to the ladies. Give it up to the ladies.
Oh, it's super exciting.
Yeah, right? Fuck it. It's dope. And Xavier versus Jo drops. And so go check that out. CRB, blah, 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 blah. Really cool. Exciting to see the branding and new events and stuff like that. Let's move on from Canada and let's go to somewhere sunny and beautiful, the UK and Ireland. For the well, we're gonna cover the plug 4, and yeah, I mean that the full card was released and announced, and you know, fucking Pathogenic versus Archaic is on that card.
Yeah.
What do you think about the most recent announcements of Bobby versus Yunnan and Koj versus Real Sick?
I think it's crazy. I like having a UK matchup on this card. I think that really rounds out, and it's a testament to how strong the UK is that you can have all of these crazy matches, all involving international talent, but have Bobby and Yunnan also on there and have it be very high up on the card, right? I mean, I think it's
a great battle.
Yeah, it's going to be insane, especially with the trajectory that both of them are on as of right now, because this is a rematch, but their last battle was, I think, a low point for both of them. And so right now on the upswing in both their cases, it's shaping up to could be one of the best all UK matchups in a long time.
Mm-hmm. With a really strong year so far. For UK Battlerap and Battle of the Year contenders. Mm-hmm. So yeah, excited to see that both of those guys having extra time to prepare for it.
Yeah, because this was originally supposed to be match day 3.
Right.
But scooch it over. Let's put it on the plug.
It's so interesting how that happens. We covered that too. It's fun how like we're at the point in the Bodycast where the stuff that we've covered and the stuff that we've projected is like it's like happening, and then we can go back and see how good our predictions were if we were just idiots. Anyways, in other news, I mean, it's a great card. It's going to be amazing.
And I guess we didn't even talk about Koj and Real Sick.
Oh yeah, right.
Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah,
I think that's what happens when you beat Gemini, right? You get a matchup like Real Sick.
Yeah,
and that'll be the first time since Sick was out there and battled Maverick and had probably one of the best UK debuts that people have seen, and so he gets to return against prime, actual prepared Koj, and on such a big card. I think it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's fun for Real Sick too, because it's like, here's a guy who's really hungry and is really going to take advantage of this opportunity, and you get to go and be on this legendary card. Like Real Sick is sort of like, I think it's good for him and it's good for his profile as well. You know,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it'll be cool to see if he has a URL battle before that plug card, because if not, then technically his last 3 battles will have been King of the Dot, I Battle, and Premier,
yeah, very interesting.
which is it's pretty cool considering he is such a name. He's sort of now transcending and becoming one of those I can
Yes,
sort of battle and be the guy wherever I go names.
sure.
So I think that's cool, and also a testament to his skill level considering he's only been doing this seriously for the last couple of years, right? Starting primarily in the pandemic, that first Ultimate Madness was when he started to really make his name, and going from there and now look where he's at, right? So it's cool to see.
Yeah, it's almost like the wider hip hop audience, like the audience that would really enjoy this podcast. Um, like you make yourself available to them as a battle rap envoy to the world. Like Disaster and like Pat Stay and like people who would you're not just one league. You're like one battle rapper, and uh, everybody wants to collab when you're doing that. I don't know what I'm saying. He's just dope. It's dope. Dope shit's happening. Bong! So, anyways,
What's next?
Gas Buff versus SPE dropped as well from um, Premier Battles Ireland.
Ireland? Yeah.
Yeah. So SPE, friend of the show, he was on a Bodycast previously.
Yes.
And really cool, good kid. Very, I thought he was really smart and um, committed to battle rap culture. I thought it was really, really dope. You could see his passion. And yeah, so I know that he was taking a little break from battle rap, and I guess this is him coming back. And Gas Buff is obviously super legend.
Yep.
Huge fan. So, did you end up seeing this one?
Yeah, of course I did. I always tune in when my man Gas Buff is on.
Fans are unruly today.
When
Absolutely.
somebody get
Ban
that
some of
guy
these
out of here.
guys. For real. You need to fucking mute these guys.
Holy. Big fan of Gas Buff.
Yeah.
Can't spell goat without the G, and you can't spell Gas Buff without a G either. So therefore, if you go down the line, Gas Buff is the greatest of all time.
That just makes sense. That's just logic. Not so high. I can't see that. So let's take a trip. Let's take a trip all the way across the Middle East, Eastern Asia, and then Southeast Asia. And then,
Indonesia.
Yeah, Indonesia-ish. To Australia. And do people call it Oceania anymore? What is that? Is that a thing?
I think that's the entire region.
Right. Okay, cool. So that's still, word is still active. It's not like, people, you just call it Oceania. How dare you? Don't use that term around here.
I don't know. It might be different there, but
this is an educational program, so it's important that people know.
Correct. Yes.
Oceania is like the area down there with Australia.
Yep. Wait, if it exists.
Right.
If Australia exists, because Apex was actually telling me about 20 minutes ago about how apparently there's a group of people that think Australia doesn't exist. So
is A1 in that group? Hey, Friendly fire.
But yes, we're in Australia now.
Yes,
Down under.
Australia, Oceania. How you going, mate? Crocodile Dundee.
I was waiting to see when you were gonna do that. I knew that accent was coming out. I was just gonna wait.
Oh, you fucking boomerang, all the fucking boomerang. So, what's really important is that people check out the 2 drops that came from this event that we've been talking about for forever. We have been talking about it, and they dropped really quickly after the event. THC channel, THC TV, is a Australian-based hip-hop channel run by Greeley and his team. Greeley's an old-timey battle rapper from back in the day with the there was tons of battle rap in Australia back in the day, and he's I remember they talked about it in the battle. He's battling Dundee, who's a fucking, I think, one of the more contemporary top tier battle rappers from Australia. If I had to, like put labels on people, but a great headline match and for all the spectators and fans. But I remember that it was there was like a beef between Dundee and this other rapper. Oh, I can't remember his name. And he was trying to get him in the ring, and they were going to try and set it up, and that was going to be on the channel. And I guess this other rapper pussied out and didn't fucking put his mouth where his money is, and so Greeley stepped in and he made the headline match himself, and it ended up being really great. I think they at the end, because they're good friends, they did sort of a compliment round for their third, which was really cool and fun, and the vibe was just cultivate immaculate vibes, right? Let's go.
It was a great vibe, and it was I think Dundee talked about a little bit in his first 13 years, because they had previously battled on Don't Flop, so it had been a minute since that the original matchup. So it was really cool to see the get back. Nice way to end it as well. This battle has been out for 11 days. It has almost 18,000 views and 923 likes. It is getting a lot of traction. The crowd was fantastic as well. They were very receptive. It was great to see in both matchups, Dundee and Greeley, and Vega and
Asthmatic.
yeah, very, very good. They had a 2v2 drop this morning, or well, their morning time, I guess, about 7 hours ago for us. So it was also not too bad, but it seems each of these battles from this event that have dropped so far, the crowd was in the sweet spot for, which you really like to see, especially for a place that hasn't had any prominent battle rap content for a minute.
Yeah. So they were in the conversation, and then they stepped out of the conversation for a bit. So you hope that the success of this event maybe opens the door for some more stuff. Obviously, the Watch Your Mouth battles happening in Perth, with their event coming up soon too. Shouts out to Kamira and those boys. And I just you want to see them get back to where they were for sure. I thought it was cool in the intro and both those battles. They said they had Bias B co-host, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck!" Like Bias B is legendary. I didn't know he fucked with battle rap like that, and he was like front and center the whole time. So people don't know Bias B is part of 750 Rebels, like old school, Brisbane, Melbourne, in Melbourne, but 750 Rebels was really a lot of Brisbane stuff with Lazy Gray and the boys. Just like early 90s, like I think Bias B, he was the first ever, I believe he was the first ever rapper to drop an album in Australia, period. Like,
yeah, I think that you're correct.
It's
trying to think of, because then it would have sort of spawned that kickoff for rappers and the hip hop culture in Australia after that.
Well, yeah, and the thing was, it was sort of late. I remember, when I went there for a bit, for some stuff, and it was the graffiti scene that took over. That was the part of hip hop that really resonated with Australia, and they were just maybe because it was the illegal part. Hey, hey, it's not illegal to rap. Hey, but they're like, I say it with love. You know, Australia is, in my opinion, the best graffiti artists in the world and have been for a long time. It's just their understanding of technique and their approach to the art form as a there's like there's a respect for it, and there's a sense of um, apprenticeship where you pass down knowledge from people and crews, protect and develop people and develop styles, and like there's a whole really serious side to it, a philosophical side to it that's just, I mean, really resonates with me, and I think that was what was prominent in Australian hip hop culture. And the music came a little later, so like it was like, yeah, early '90s was when they started dipping their toes in. Anyways, to say that, to say this, Bias B there was going crazy. It was like, I was like, oh my god, like that's fucking legendary shit. I want to bring it all back around here.
Bring back to what we were talking about originally.
There you go.
Podcast turned into Cope's life stories about his time in Australia.
Anyways, so yeah, One Outs also had a drop, and Repic versus Script, and so check that out. One Out's been dropping all their stuff from the latest event, which is really cool. Makes me think that probably they got some announcements coming for some new shit.
Yes. Was this the last drop from that first event?
Ooh, I don't know. That'd be a good question to have the answer to. But yeah, it looks like 5 battles here. I feel like they had more than that, but I could be wrong. Yeah, What Else? Doing great stuff, doing great work, and shouts out to Pep in the chat. But yeah, just super dope to see what's happening in Australia and New Zealand. I would say, to wrap it up, J Noel versus Slim Buck dropped in Africa. There's some shit going on in Africa. It's very spicy. It's first of all, it's amazing new scene for English speaking battle rap, and when you're talking about, I think the most active leagues, you're talking about Nigeria and Ghana with Lyrical Wars, Word on the Streets, and Battle Rap Africa. And I remember when we had Fifth on, and we were talking about what the sentiment is out there in regards to collaboration. It's like there's no bad energy, but it definitely feels very competitive, and there's definitely a lot of shit talk happening on Twitter about what league is the best league, and Battle Rap Africa is obviously branded itself as bigger than just Nigeria. So it's exciting to see where this goes, where this develops. A lot of these guys are super talented, and definitely, I mean, they're getting crazy engagement. Like there's fans out there,
Yes.
Facts. There's lots of fans, man. They got lots of views. I fucking tweet about them. They'll blow up your Twitter. Like, man, Nigeria is killing it. So
very exciting to see what comes next.
Yeah, J Noel versus Slim Buck dropped on YouTube, but it is an hour long, so I have not seen it yet.
I have yet to see it also.
Yeah, but I will.
For similar reason. But what it does tell me is you can really see the URL influence on their battling style, because where else are you going to see an hour-long battle on YouTube? It's URL, so
sure.
It's cool to see that it's still alive somewhere, right? Yeah. URL's obviously not dropping on YouTube anymore, but
it took me so long to figure out where you were going. It's like, yeah, yeah, Jesus. I mean, shouts out to URL. I guess we'll fly back to America because they had no impact last weekend. No impact, and a lot of people were saying it was like the best event they'd ever been to in their life. Every battle was unique and amazing and special in its own way. And That's not what they said.
No, not even close. Hope that you're giving participation ribbons out.
You don't know. But yeah, I mean, obviously, there's lots of criticism of URL and how they're doing things, and I think that comes with, to play devil's advocate, that comes with the pressure of being number one. When you're on top like that, you're going to face the majority of criticism. You're greatly influencing the battle rap culture, steering the ship. English speaking battle rap culture. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to fuck that up, and I think fans are very vocal about. I don't know. What did you think? Did you see any of that shit?
I haven't seen any of the actual battles themselves. I just saw the clips and highlights across Twitter and what everyone was talking about it. I mean, I think the most intriguing thing to think about when we look at this event is that it's billed as Gnome Impact. And I think that a lot of people just get really excited about, 2v2s. That's awesome. We haven't seen that since Summer Impact. But keep in mind it's still a Gnome. That's supposed to be a night of main events, right? These are all supposed to be main event quality battles throughout the entirety of the night. And I think that got lost. And so I don't know if that's because of the teams or what that was. I know a lot of people, when Hollow and Calico were announced as a team, were kind of like, don't know how that's going to go. And then the battle happened and everyone was like, that's kind of what we thought was going to happen. Ored and Shug, they started out great. Ored lost his voice. That's tale as old as time. But I think that's where everyone was expecting this to be like Summer Impact was, and that was a crazy night. That looks more like Gnome Impact to me. What that event was,
right?
With Loaded Hollows and Tay-Rock and Chess,
right?
Hitman and John, Clips and Goods, like that. Twerk and Shug, Marvin Quest, that one was crazy. And this one kind of seemed like people didn't get that same feel.
You're totally right. That was
until Hustle and Danny versus Lou and Jerry West, which I think was the battle before the main event. And I think that those two were people were saying those two were the saving grace of the card itself, which on a Gnome it shouldn't be unless somebody were to choke.
Right.
But, people were still saying that. So,
yeah.
Salute to Lou Castro, man. Guys like the 2v2, he might be the greatest 2v2 partner of all time.
For real.
The crazy thing about it is he's pairing up with different people each time. It's not like, it's Marvin Quest, right? You expect to see the two of them together. And when they're really good, you go, yeah, that's Marvin Quest. It's like Soros and Ilmac, right? You expect them to be good as a team because they've been a team for so long. Lou is like a journeyman. Yeah, whatever. Vagabond, I'll pair up with you and we'll have a fucking crazy battle because I'm fantastic in any 2v2 you put me in.
His charisma is so high and his energy is so high that it's very complementary to like a bunch of different styles and sort of like brings out the best of people. Yeah, it's really cool. Good for him. Absolute legendary everywhere.
And then Twerk and Nitty were, I think, exactly what everyone expected with the two of them being together. So salute to that.
That's the main event. That's the main event of the night of main events. So credit where credit's due. You wonder, I mean, how much of a leash does URL have? Like obviously they're trying to figure out the combination of app battles and exclusive events and YouTube drops and all that. And it's like, it costs money. Those, when you're alienating your fan base like that, when you're, figuring it out, the time that it takes to figure it out costs money, and you wonder what kind of leash they have, or how deep the pockets go, because you were talking about um, Easy, the Block Captains event in Philly, and the drama that surrounded that. Is a drama costs money too. Drama costs a
Mhm.
lot of money, and creates a bunch of negative energy too. So it's just, I think it's tough to be on top. It's tough to be the top dogs, and it's really interesting to see where this goes, because when we originally talked about, or years ago, we talked about URL being number one and getting all this money, as we assumed that they would dominate battle rap, and it's really been the opposite uh, since the fucking caffeine deal. Um,
I think that comes from being given a lot of money from somebody that has no clue what battle rap is.
what does it take though? I mean, you gave it to the guys who were on top, right? Like somebody said that the other day. They were like, oh, you can't have these outsiders. It's like, yeah, caffeine is the outsider for sure, but like, who do you give the money to? Who could do it? What if somebody from the outside came in and did it really well?
I
Like,
think that
has to happen.
where
But
where the disconnect is that caffeine didn't give a bunch of money to URL and just say, "All right, here's all the money, go out and do it." They partnered with URL, meaning that it needs to be beneficial to both parties,
right,
right? We're giving you a lot of money, but this has to benefit us as well. So they aren't thinking of battle rap as a whole. They're thinking of battle rap as something to benefit themselves. Whereas URL is thinking about, okay, well, how does this benefit us and battle rap? And then also now what do we have to do to make it benefit caffeine? This
yeah,
wasn't just here's a bunch of money, go make battle rap great.
yeah. Okay, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good clarification.
Because that's I think what the difference is in this whole situation, right? That's why you're seeing um, the the discrepancy between caffeine previously having free events, now all of a sudden having paywall and pay-per-view, the frequency of the events, all of the events dropping on the app. There's two games that are having to be played now. The game that benefits URL and the game that benefits caffeine. And it's a dance that they're trying to figure out. And as a fan, it's tough because I'm not a fan of caffeine. I'm a fan of battle rap. I'm a fan of URL. So I don't want I don't want there to be a dance.
Right.
That gets lost also, right? If it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it could very well be the death knell, or the growing pains, the early growing pains that turns into something incredibly fruitful and prosperous.
Yeah.
But it's definitely feels like just the early stages. That, if I had to say, it's like the early still um, battle rap experience on the planet. We're what, 20, 30 years in, sort of ish, 20, like video battle rap 20 years in, maybe.
20 years into an art form, yeah.
It's fucking, it's very interesting. I was having this conversation yesterday about how KOTD did the season one thing, and if they were able to maintain that, like season two, and keep that going, the deal with Twitch, you have sort of like a web over the United States, and you build on that infrastructure, and really create these solid. That was, I think, the closest to somebody really dominating English speaking battle rap. I think, but like, not the closest, but like that idea in my mind was the closest to somebody really taking over and monopolizing this shit. But I don't know. It's still up for grabs, is in my mind. One league to rule them all. I don't know what I'm talking
We'll
about.
have to wait and see.
We will see, and we shall see, and we will report on that and all the cool, interesting things that happen around the world in battle rap, because that's what we do on this show. Next week, if you are in Vancouver or the surrounding area, BC, Alberta, Washington State, heat wave is happening at the Railway Club. Bong, you were there,
I was,
and
yes.
great little spot, and we got some amazing battles. I think that the G Show versus Arcane is the headliner, and that's the battle that we care about. When I'm selling tickets, I tell people we're gonna come and we're gonna watch G Show versus Arcane. This is gonna be fucking awesome. You're gonna love it.
Yep.
But the middle of the card, the rest of the card is very solid. It's one of those ones where I think in previous cards, I don't think I'm telling any tales here. Set the Bar has been developing, and they've been, headliner strong, to be like me headlining, and then a bunch of like battles where you hope they're good. And then this one is like the headliner's great, and then the mid-round battles, the mid-card battles are like there's a lot of experience there. There's a lot of guys who have motivation to be really good, and they know what they're doing, and so I think it's really solid. It's going to be a really fun night.
Yeah, I would say that it's a huge testament to Set the Bar to be able to develop guys that can be higher up on these cards, and you can kind of give main event battles to a wide array of battlers now.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for a long time, it was like for King of the Dot Vancouver, it was all right. The next card's coming up. Who are we going to get for Ellipsis to battle?
Ellipsis versus somebody.
Ellipsis versus somebody. And that isn't to say that it still isn't like that, right? I mean, Ellipsis and I was the main event for.
Ellipsis is the best in the city. If he's on the card, he's in the main event.
Exactly. So but I like that he doesn't have to be there to have that happen.
Yeah.
Now. And there was the infant stages of that right before the pandemic, where Jaws was supposed to, like, he had battled Ellipsis and he was going to be battling Shoddy P in the main event of day one on Heart to Heart. And he was kind of getting prepped to be a number 2 that could take that main event spot, so that Ellipsis wasn't always the main event. Always, there didn't have to be an Ellipsis battle to have a King of the Dot card, because who else are you going to have? And I think that Set the Bar now is finding a way to build the sort of next talent up to that spot.
Yeah,
you can have a guy like
Mike Wild.
There's a guy like Sully, a guy like Mike Wild, like Mike Wild and So Severe could easily be the headline on a card.
Totally. Yep.
And so it's great. And this is a card where you've got 2 of those. G Show and Arcane could be the headline battle of any card and is a well-deserved headline. Mm-hmm. Mike Wild and So Severe could be a headline on any card. So you've got a 1-2 punch like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just great. And I'm really happy for Set the Bar to have that out there for the West guys.
Yeah. And G Show. This is going to be a good look for him.
Yes.
Get some eyes on what he's doing, because he's extremely talented, and he's has a cleverness that you don't get from Battlerap very often. So when you see it, you gotta support it. Because that shit is the fucking mwah. And that's the shit that I love the most.
That is the chef's kiss, as they say, which is a perfect segue into Tay-Rock versus Real Deal the Chef, which Oak had forgotten about to talk about. And so we're just going to swing that in real quick before we end, because I think that's what you were gearing up for.
Why would we have to talk about that again? Tay-Rock versus Real Deal have been Tay-Rock and Real Deal. Tay Deal and Real Rock have been going back and forth on Twitter. Obviously, they were both present at the Gutta City Battles event.
The trenches?
Yeah. For some reason, I assumed that Tay-Rock saw Real Deal's performance at the trenches, and he was like, I'm not a fan, or something like that. I don't really know. How did it start?
No, it was just a back and forth of, I'm pretty sure a fan had said on Twitter that Tay-Rock should battle Real Deal on Easy's league.
Right.
And Tay-Rock said, I have my own league, and I'll battle Real Deal on anyone. It doesn't even matter. And so then he had put out again like a, real deal. If you don't respond to this tweet, it's not tweet. It's not happening. And Real Deal was like, "Yo, I'm in school, bro. I'm still teaching." It's like, so you responded to it a little later, and so they've kind of had a back and forth where they've been going at it, and it's cool to see. Yeah, I think it would be great for Deal to get some of those names.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, so it's good to see. Feels good natured, and there's a lot of respect there. And shouts to Tay-Rock. Tay-Rock is never Tay-Rock is outside for everything, which is fucking what I love about him, for real. He's really for battle rap. There's some guys who are really for it, and Real Deal the same way. Stepping down from being a KOTD champ, it's like we haven't seen him battle in a bit. Like from the Gutta City battles was
trenches.
The trenches, thank you. Event was trying so hard to hang on to any semblance of cognizance. And yeah, right. It's totally objective commentary from somebody who's totally not related to me. And yeah, we're just good job.
Yes. That's the show, everybody.
That's all for this week. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and click the like and subscribe button everywhere. I would never ask you to like and subscribe, but if you want to.
But this is coming in now, and I would definitely ask you to subscribe and like the channel as you do so.
This show is the best show that you have ever watched, and we'll be back next week to do some more bullshit. It's gonna be great. Pat, take us out.